Well, I guess second time really is the charm.
Those were up, and they did.
More smarts, and my...
He told me enough.
No, I. Here's Chuck.
Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I am here with a brand new movie review, and this movie review is going to be for the very first sequel to come out this year, and of course, our final January release for the month. There's nothing really else coming out this month after this until February, and this film is going to be for none other than 2023's Missing, the standalone sequel to 2018's hit Searching. So how does this movie go? Well, when her mother disappears while on vacation in Colombia with her new boyfriend, June's search for answers is hindered by international red tape. Stuck thousands of miles away in Los Angeles, June creatively uses all the latest technology at her fingertips to try and teach her before it's too late. As she digs deeper, her digital sleuthing raises more questions than answers, and when June unravels secrets about her mom, she discovers that she never really knew her at all. So yeah, well, how did this get made? Well, in August 2019, a standalone sequel to Searching was announced to be in development, which I didn't know about, with the original film's director, Anish Kalarji, clarifying that the story would not follow the same characters or plot as the original, and making the series an anthology. In November 2020, producer Natalie Questman said the pandemic had postponed production for the film, simply going under the title Searching 2. Then in January 2021, it was announced that Will Merrick and Nick Johnson, editors of the first one and Clendity's run, would write and direct the film in their directional debuts, with additional literary material by Michael Ari Watson. In the following months, Stormina and Neil Long joined the cast. Principal photography took place on March 30th to May 30th, 2021 in Los Angeles, California. In September 2022, the film's title was revealed to be Missing, with the film set for a 2023 release date. In November 2022, producer and co-story writer Sylvan Oban revealed on Reddit that the film would also be set after Run, serving as an epilogue to the events of that film as well as a continuation of Searching. So anyway, after the film was mysteriously shot and marketed, Missing at its world premiere yesterday at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival on January 19, 2023, and was released today in the United States on January 20th, 2023 by Sony Pictures Releasing. It received similar positive reviews to Searching, much like its predecessor much like that film from 2018. Now, when it comes to my reaction for both the films, as for my reaction to Searching, I absolutely loved Searching. That may just have to be my favorite found footage movie of all time. John Cho gives a very phenomenal performance in that movie, and I really love the emotional impact and storyline it had. Now, as for my reaction to Missing, the first film was slightly better, but this was still pretty good for a standalone sequel. At first I was like, come on guys, leave Searching alone. But this movie proved that not all standalone sequels are bad, after all. Now, the genre so far gold standard has a worthy sequel, which is more standalone follow-up than continuation. You don't need to have seen Searching to enjoy Missing, and enjoyable it is. Serpentine, Slay, and nail-biting in equal measures. With the earlier movies, families will certainly recognize what online-savvy Los Angeles high schooler June is watching on her laptop in the beginning. The climax of Searching done up as dramatic reenactment of a true crime series called On Fiction. So same world, just different story. Or more accurately, same story with the searcher role reversed. Where the daughter's now the ones trying to find the parents. Kind of like Taken 2, except unlike while Taken 2 was shit, this film was not. June's mom, Grace, is a single parent, nervous about leaving her daughter alone while she goes on a trip to Colombia with her new boyfriend, Kevin, from Old. Yeah, that piece of shit from M. Night Shyamalan. And June, ready for time away from her annoyingly attentive guardian, makes the most of her unsupervised time by hosting a secret rager. But in this scenario written by directors Will Merrick and Nick Johnson, who served as editors on Searching, is this teenager playing digital detective, when Mom effectively disappears in Colombia, and diplomatic inaction pushes June to do her own cyber sleuthing from thousands of miles away to find out what happened to Grace and Kevin. And the movie is even helped by its outstanding cast. Storm Reed is a superstar in the making, and her believable and thoughtful portrayal of June helps ease over some of the electronic coincidences that come along the way. That isn't to say this movie takes large leaps over bottomless chasms. On the contrary, it utilizes its premise in the best possible way. It's just that Storm Reed is so believable, you'll think everything she does is possible. Immediately, the dynamic is different and missing than it was in Searching, and it alters the film's momentum tremendously. June isn't befuddled old man pawing at his mouse pad like John Cho was in the previous movie. As someone whose entire life was surrounded by this tech, June knows the tricks and how to maneuver around obstacles. It isn't long before she's figured out how to access Ken's password and bust into his Gmail, using a scarily effective tactic that could probably be used in real life, and she gets assistance from folks on the ground too. Her mom's lawyer pal, well, an FBI agent, are basically useless, though. Even though they're in the best position to help, they don't even do fucking shits, which was kind of a problem. Instead, June gets the most out of her best friend Vina, who is also fairly tech-savvy, and Javier Ramos, a jovial TaskRabbit user in Colombia who does most of the actual footwork because June can't be there herself. While it's difficult to move on from the powerhouse performance of John Cho as a fish-out-of-water father character in Searching, Euphoria Storm Reed pulls you in a behind the screen with heavy emotionality and relatability in the role of June. Relationship with her mother, who's played by Nia Long, is a furthermore expertly written in its portrayal and the balance between resentment and love. The major difference this time around is that June's internet know-how allows for a lightning-paced screenplay in which, much like in the case of real-life internet sleuths, she's almost always a few steps ahead of the cops in the quest to find her mom. In fact, it might be the rare movie that could have benefited by extending its runtime. The conversations it presents on internet conspiracy and the true crime genre are interesting, although they are not given much time for expansion. The rapidity of the reveals is thrilling, however, and the movie trusts the audience to pay attention to detail and rewards them with a satisfying payoff. Missing is an amazing movie. It just starts off one way and sets audience expectations before taking a sharp turn, pulling the rug out from under viewers and leaving them questioning exactly what they're seeing. The change of direction and focus of the character, which happens at the midpoint, is well done. The film wrestles with the idea of morality and how anyone is capable of committing horrible acts against others, which in certain circumstances, from his perspective, Santoshi doesn't necessarily do anything wrong. The victims who are targeted claim they want to die. Is Santoshi doing him a favor, or is he helping a murderer? He's a morally ambiguous character whose desperation fuels his actions, and the film offers no concrete answers about his actions, leaving the audience to ponder the gray area in which he has been firmly placed. And what frightens many of us most is not peril itself, but the growing sense of helplessness and hopelessness that horror does so well. Like what June had at her disposal is a multiplicity of tools of new avenues to explore. Missing is a study of the ways in which the internet is full of hundreds of ways to solve a problem. A story about like bending those tools to your will. Like, if you ever all remember that 2014 piece of shit Unfriended, the movie that tried to be Searching before Searching came out and failed, which Searching pretty much did Unfriended better. It was about that. Unfriended was about the anonymous message, the blank page, the blinking cursor, the grayed out option, the spinning ball, the baffling insertion, online life when it doesn't work. While the first one is entirely confined to computer screens, video calls, and news reports, Missing earns its claim as a rival sequel by adding things like Instagram, Snapchat, and WhatsApp. It also ups the ante by going international. Like, while our main characters could find entirely to her screen, she needs to depend on the assistance of others who may or may not have their own agendas in this investigation. Much like Searching, this film makes the viewer look like a sleuth of their own in the best way. And when I was watching this film, it does almost feel voyeuristic for the viewer. You see the private emails of people, the things they want hidden because they show us who they truly are. And like a good whodunit, the film lays out all the puzzle pieces fairly early on. All we need to do is connect the dots, follow along the journey with the protagonist, and the film never breaks with this computer screen style, showing us all of June's discoveries of the mystery and Ten Durham with ours. And what's exciting about the style is its limitations, and what can't be shown. If a character walks away from their screen, we don't see where they go unless there's another screen in that area that shows them. What's more is that Searching was kind of more of a drama thriller. This movie, Missing, on the other hand, is more of a straight-up thriller movie this time around, with some more horror elements near the end of the film. Yeah, and still having some of the same emotional impact Searching had. Man, granted, the emotional impact wasn't nearly as much as the emotional impact John Cho's performance gave us in the first film, but there's still quite some good emotional impact here. But that does mean there's also some bad qualities. Because as for the bad qualities, here's why this movie is not as good as Searching. First off, this film is nearly the same exact film as that movie, obviously in concept. 2, the beginning basically shows a TV-made episode based off the climax of Searching, which is a weird way to start off the film. And finally, the ending pretty much makes no sense because it's the same way the beginning started off the movie, except the climax of the movie is now made as also a TV episode of the same series. So, in a way, one is left to wonder, was this whole movie just made up? Was this whole movie just an imagination? What? I was wondering if the whole movie was literally just a TV episode she was watching the whole time. Our protagonist was. It makes no sense. It seemed like an exciting ending too, but no, it just revealed the whole exciting moment was just a TV episode. I don't think that really worked. And I don't think we needed to make a joke about... Didn't he really need to joke about the whole series thing? Really? Here, and I really almost thought... It seemed like this movie was going to end on a downer note. Thank God it didn't. Thank God it didn't. If it ended on a downer note, I'd be pissed. Because Searching and this movie are one of those few found footage films that for once don't end on a shitty Blair Witch Project cliche where everybody dies, the camera rolls in that's freaking it for once. No. Searching actually lets the characters freaking live and makes them likable. So it's refreshing for these two films to finally avert that stupid cliche. Because despite those bad qualities, in the end, Missing is a pretty good standalone sequel that is worth a watch and buy if you loved Searching, and also another solid January flick. To be honest, this was a pretty good January. Now, when it comes to January this year, if I'm going to be honest, this was a pretty good January month for this year. Because I think this January is kind of over for movies. And now we're going to be moving on to February. And March. Stuff, so... Yeah, I'm just as surprised as some of you probably are. January is supposed to be a pretty shitty month for films. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. But this was a pretty good January month for this year, and I hope we can have more be just like this January was for a change. Because this was quite refreshing. For once, we didn't have such shitty movies for a change. Regardless if some of you liked Megan or not, I know... I think it was kind of better than some other subscribers of mine have been calling it. I didn't think it was really rant-worthy. I mean, granted, it was not as good as the trailers, but... It's kind of weird they've already confirmed a sequel to Megan, just 2 weeks after it came out. 2. But anyways. That's it for my review of Missing. If you're wondering how I'm going to rank Missing, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, if you are a fan of Searching, then you shouldn't be disappointed here because this is a great standalone sequel that is worth watching and buying for yourself for sure when it hits a Blu-ray stores. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Missing, I'm going to give Missing an 8 out of 10. And there we go. That wraps up my review for Missing, and that wraps up the January for 2023. So... not a bad January. I hope January 2024 can also be like this. But I can't wait to see how the rest of the movie season goes. Hope it can still be good. Until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.